people really like to talk, especially when they're pissed off or they want to demonize something or anger or irritation or something has some point in the mix. People just talk about it a lot more. I noticed that when I worked places, people complain more than they talk about what good service that they had, or people are bitching and complaining behind people's backs, but they'll never say it to their face. And the internet provides this kind of anonymity for people to talk smack. Also, a platform for people to agree when they're upset about something, and there's somebody out there with a megaphone yelling about it. Hot takes have been the death of a lot of people's careers. They have been the death of a lot of relationships. Hot takes have caused some bad situations, especially when they're terrible. I had no idea until I watched Actman's first video on the subject that there were so many people reaching and pulling and clamoring for an opportunity to have a bad hot take on video games. But it seems that that's something that hasn't gone away, which I understand. Clickbait titles and drama and lies and BS seem to be the largest revenue generator for all of the internet, regardless of politics, video games, sports, relationships, whatever. People like drama. So, why not put my eyes on it, hear what the man himself, Actman, has to say on the subject once again, because we have this video that has been recommended quite a bit, actually, on the Discord server, which will be linked down in the description for They Call Me Hat Guy, where you can communicate with me. You can recommend videos for me to react to, as well as videos for Nikki and I to react to, games you might want to see us play, all kinds of stuff like that. Go check it out down in the description. But let's go ahead and get into this. This is more terrible gaming hot takes from Actman. Let's see. Well, not his hot takes, his response to them. Let's pull this up. Let's check this out.
You know what always makes me feel better about my own terrible opinions? Taking a fat dump on someone else's. What's up, everybody? This is the Actman here, and today we're going to be looking at even more gaming hot takes. I will warn you, these are boiling hot, scalding, burning hot takes. Mass Effect isn't political enough.
Oh no.
Doom Eternal hates women? People really seem to enjoy that other video I made, so why not do it again? There's no shortage of hot takes. Now I must warn you, this video might be a little political. He said the P word? Sorry, your cis white woman protagonist isn't progressive. Oh no, years of game development wasted. It's not progressive. What I like about this article is you don't even have to read a single word of it to know they have no idea what they're talking about.
No.
Let's play a little game called What's Wrong with This Picture? Protagonist?
What?
I'm sorry. Who's the protagonist in Resident Evil Village again? Is it Lady Dimitrescu on her way to kidnap Rose? Is that what the game was all about? The future is bright for the current and upcoming crop of AAA releases. Other people are excited for these games because in their eyes, these games speak to a welcome shift in game culture, as every one of these titles either stars or prominently features women. You see, up until this point, just recently, women have never had a major role in video games because they were considered by, everyone as being too political for that sort of thing. So we really have been making progress, guys. We finally have leading, predominant female characters. But when I look at these games, my excitement dims into frustration.
Perfect Dark.
These games star women.
What about that?
Women are white. Or voiced by white actresses. Can I just ask real quick, does anybody actually give a shit about voice acting diversity? It doesn't even make sense. You're voicing a character that's not you. You're not there. Who cares what color your skin is if you can voice the character well? I remember this whole voice acting debate up on Twitter maybe a year and a half ago.
Is this real?
Wouldn't it just be boring if you had to voice act a character that had the same skin color as you? Wouldn't that restrict opportunities for literally everybody? isn't that the opposite of progress? You know, I've actually got no problems with more females and more minority groups of people in video games or starring as main characters.
Yeah.
Shocker, I know. In fact, I'd like to see more of it myself. There really aren't many black female characters in gaming. But if I really wanted to see that vision come to fruition, I wouldn't be writing rage bait articles for Kotaku. I remember being crushed when my choices for Commander Shepard were blonde, brunette, redhead, and 2 paper bag test-passing tan women. Am I missing something? Does Mass Effect not have like a skin shader? Oh, it does. Why are you writing this again? It sucks when games forget about you. Almost 5 years after its launch, Overwatch, a game in which its colorful, disabled, and queer characters are a large part of its appeal, still doesn't have a playable black woman. Okay, bro, if you were gonna slam any video game for not being diverse enough, it is not Overwatch, okay? Are you kidding me? They got Donkey Kong in there. What more do you want? So the title implies that companies are trying to pander to people with diversity quotas, which is the lady writing this. Now, what's ironic is she's complaining that they're not pandering to her hard enough, while at the same time blasting them for apparently pandering to her. It's very confusing, but basically this lady is a total hypocrite. It's just,
That's it.
an excellent stroke of irony. Despite the memes, I think most gamers aren't against diversity. I just think the people that are often pitching these ideas are doing a real shit job about it.
Yeah,
but here's
they
a
are.
real head scratcher for you. Why do games have to be progressive? And just how progressive do they need to be? Is there a limit? But I digress. What if video games were instead fun? Would that be enough?
Oh, shit.
No, it wouldn't. Moving on, there was a pretty controversial tweet a couple weeks ago about Horizon Zero Dawn and Aloy. You probably saw this. Is it me, or Sony be making their lead female protagonist look masculine as hell? Barely no curves or rough feminine features. Apex Alpha J, true to his name, shared his alpha male status in the replies. All I hear is bunch of beta males on here. Very unfortunate, more butthurt, I suppose. Oh god, you're so butthurt that I said something incredibly stupid. Oh god, I was just trolling you. You're just butthurt, you beta male. God, you're so below me. I get my dick sucked 12 times a day. Why is it when like these tough alpha males get criticized that they find it so necessary to just like constantly reply to shit and just be like, I'm so tough. Y'all are just betas. Like,
Represent.
you're wearing your insecurities on your sleeve. The replies are pretty golden. I will say I had a field day looking at these. The best one being the fan art that this dude uses was actually made to make fun of people like him. It's, God, so much irony today. There's like a million things wrong with this post. We can make fun of it for hours. But here's an idea. Given the setting of Horizon Forbidden West, you could probably assume makeup and looking pretty aren't big fucking priorities.
Yeah,
These
probably
people have
not.
to kill robot dinosaurs to survive. Okay, you thought dinosaurs were scary? Now they're robots too. Who the fuck has time for makeup?
For real.
Aloy's not even ugly, bro. Are you kidding me? You're acting like she needs an Instagram filter on her face at all times. She's a freaking, like, cave woman, Amazonian, survivalist, strong female character. And side note, what does it matter the prettiness of a character if the story is good? If the character's compelling, what does it matter how pretty they are?
Doesn't.
I mean, looking at the actions and movements Aloy performs, like, her body type is totally realistic for this kind of thing. Why are we even having this conversation? I mean, if all you want to see is strong feminine women in video games, there's a game for you, dude. It's called Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. Okay? Just play that for 10 hours, get it all out of your system, and then shut up. Doom Eternal review. No girls or... Doom Eternal review. No girls or trans people allowed. You know, I'm not sure Bethesda ever said that. Why is there this obsession with, like, subjecting every type of entertainment and media to criticism if it doesn't check literally every single box? Like, every single type of person, human being on this planet needs to be represented in literally everything. That's not even... That's not even feasible. Yes, good Sir Nicholas here writing this article genuinely believes Doom Eternal should have featured more trans and women characters. Well, here's a news flash. Trans people and women can enjoy a product that doesn't have trans people or women in it.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
I will give the writer here some credit, as they actually do review Doom Eternal and talk about its gameplay, which is a lot more can be said for most of these types of articles. And if you're ever trying to sniff out if something is satire or not, look at its length. The longer it is, the less likely I think it is to be satire.
Yeah.
Pax Diorium for 90s kids. It has girls and queer people in it, and open if optional sexual preferences. None of these things exist in Doom Eternal. Raise your hand if you would like the next Doom game to explore sexual preferences.
No.
And how that affects our society.
No.
Literally nobody. Just as I thought. After
No.
Trump's... Fucking here we go. However, it pandered to male gamers with a Marvel-esque vision of the world, replete with traditional gender roles tied to binary images of conventional war. Is Doom Eternal explicitly political? No. But politics and popular media are seldom directly linked in America. Politics and popular media are seldom linked in America. Have you heard of Star Wars? Did you know it was based on World War II? I don't know how hard a concept this is for people to understand, but products and entertainment are marketed to specific groups of people. I know that my audience
He's going on the
males
attack.
age 17 to 32. That's pretty much who I'm making content for. But people outside of that demographic could hopefully still enjoy it. I am not a makeup vlogger. I tried my hand at that and it went, well, here's the results. Yeah, awful, terrible. Let us never speak of it again. Nick, do you understand what a demographic is? Can you acknowledge the NFL probably isn't going to be advertising tampons on Sunday Night Football? Is there
Probably
any
not.
room for an old Doom fan like myself to enjoy the same game for my own reasons? Yes, but not through its dated treatment of gender and sex. Apparently that's my problem, not theirs. That is absolutely 100% your problem and nobody else's. I'm glad you are self-aware enough to realize that. The problem is, Doom Eternal ignores demons and video game violence as a realm for everyone, especially women and queer people. In Doom Eternal, they simply don't exist. The only two comments on this post, man, what the literal fuck is this shit you wrote? How in the hell do sex and LGBTQ people matter in a game about slaughtering demons? How would that even fit in? Bravo. A U.S. politician is trying to ban violent video games in Illinois following a rise in carjackings. So State Representative Marcus C. Evans Jr. is looking to basically restrict the sale of violent video games, among other things. Hey, Mr. Evans, did you ever hear the tragedy of Jack Thompson, the fucking idiot? Do you remember how spectacularly he failed in this very same category? It's like, bro, GTA 5 came out 8 years ago and people are still bitching about it. You can't just let Grand Theft Auto go. Leave it to politicians to use a dead horse as their scapegoat for all of society's problems.
For real.
So, So this dude is trying to solve the problem of increased carjackings in the city of Chicago. A very admirable goal. Not a very easy one. Tell me, Mr. Evans, why are video games the best route? I feel like this game has become a huge issue in this spectrum. When you compare the two, you see harsh similarities as it relates to these carjackings. Please show me the similarities, Mr. Evans. Illuminate us on the scientifically backed research that led you to this conclusion. Evans said he hoped the bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote the activities that we're suffering from in our communities. You know, I'm not sure what's worse, just completely
vague.
ignoring a problem or trying to fix it in a way that is doing more harm. To all my homies in Illinois, let's vote this motherfucker out. Mass Effect, an amazing trilogy of games, and I cannot wait for a fourth one to come out. I think one was in development, but it ended up getting canceled in 2017. It was a real shame. You might not have heard of it, but either way, these games offer players loads of freedom and customization and romance options. It is a very inclusive game, and it succeeds at doing that. But being one of the most inclusive games naturally makes them a target for people complaining they're not inclusive enough. Mass Effect is the best game ever, if you are a bigot. I realize there's a business in posting garbage to the internet with the sole intent of making people so angry they click on it. So alright, Norm, I'll play your little game. I would say the most obvious problem with Mass Effect is its backwards romance system. This thing is an incel's wet dream. I don't really have words right now. I think I've been had. This website is called inclusivegamers.com. The bigger the truth, in all caps, behind Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yep, this is satire. Well, you got me. You got me good. But let's wrap this up by looking at something equally as stupid, yet not satire. If it isn't coming from Kotaku, then it's Polygon. Mass Effect's revival reminds us it's time to abolish the space police. Let me guess, Yusuf, I take it that this product released in 2007 and the following years upsets you because it doesn't perfectly reflect the social landscape we live in today. You are bothered that Mass Effect does not discuss the problems you only started caring about a year ago. Perhaps we do not live in a society, as they say. After the wave of protests last summer following the police killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, the topics of defunding the police began to see more frequent and serious public discussion. Wow, Yusuf, you sound very passionate about this subject. Might I suggest, if you want to write a piece about police reform, write a piece about police reform. This is a gaming news website, or so I am told. Shepard and the crew are always some version of glorified space cops. How then might an abolitionist perspective impact a series like Mass Effect? Honestly, what Yusuf and the Illinois state representative are doing is the exact same thing. You're seeking a solution to a problem through a method completely disconnected from that problem. How are we going to fix the economy after the pandemic? Plant more grass. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
I hope you all appreciate the burden I go
if it's
through
the right
in
kind of
reading
grass.
this junk. Despite openly being against police and saying Mass Effect should abolish them, this dude also says at the end, the series wouldn't be the same if you did that. So what was the point of this? Is your job to waste time? Is that what you enjoy doing? Not that you can't examine games from a social or political view, but, try to line them up. Resident Evil 4, has a pretty clear underlying theme of America interfering with other countries and stuff. Why not talk about that? At the end of the day, I'd rather bitch about a main menu or an inventory system or this one annoying glitch than try to create issues in video games where none exist. But that's just me. So yeah, those were some more gaming hot takes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. And you know what? Post your own hot takes in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content.
Hell yeah.
Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Act Man signing out. Peace!
So there you have it. A bunch of absolute trash hot takes. The Doom one still just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's like you could have the same arguments that they had against Doom for like Pong or Tetris or some game where human beings just do not even exist at all. Why? What the fuck? Who cares? Who cares? And as far as Grand Theft Auto causing people to be awful, I mean, it's a fucking video game. And those same people that were going to carjack somebody because they played Grand Theft Auto are going to carjack somebody because they watched a fucking street crime movie or true crime TV or whatever. Some kind of media would have unlocked that door inside their mind that said, you know what, carjacking somebody is probably a good idea. That will happen with them if they listen to the wrong song. It's just, they're an idiot. You're an idiot if you think that that's a good idea. Like, it goes into similar situations like what I dealt with when I was in the military. Every time we would go on leave, or every time we were about to have some kind of vacation for a couple of days, for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, as long as you're not deployed, they'll allow you to go home. Sometimes. I mean, I got really lucky and I was on shore duty my entire time I was in the military. So they would sit you down and they would do these PowerPoint presentations. They're like, Hey guys, don't roast a turkey in the middle of your living room on the carpet. Don't plug in 89 outlets to 2 plugs and keep adding extension cords. Don't try to hang your Christmas lights upside down. Use a ladder. Make sure there's no ice on the ladder. Don't RPay people. You know, shit you should already fucking know not to do. They would spend 3 to 4 hours after work before you got to go home telling you not to do it. That's what I'm seeing with this whole Grand Theft Auto thing. If people are doing the shit that they see on Grand Theft Auto, something else would have probably triggered them to do that very same shit at some point because they are stupid. Stupid people can't be fixed by telling them, hey, you stupid person, don't do stupid things. They're going to do stupid things. And when it comes to reform of any kind, whether it be, to prevent sexism, to prevent people from being homophobic, or all these other things, don't you think the influences in their lives, other than video games, will probably be the dominant force in steering their mind towards these things? Like, being radicalized by a video game would be the same as like being hypnotized by a hamster running on the wheel to make you think that, you should just like be obsessed with running or something. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I refuse to believe that video games have that big of an impact on the choices that people make, especially when they're such drastic ones like stealing someone's car. I don't know. As far as inclusion is concerned, I mean, the day that there's a limit to be like, these certain people are not allowed to purchase video games, or these certain people are not allowed to be, we are setting a limit, and we are not allowing you to change the skin tone this way, or whatever. Like, Mass Effect allows you to be in homosexual relationships. Like, there's so much shit that you can't do on video games that I get frustrated by sometimes. Like, look at, you want to bitch about Grand Theft Auto's one, play San Andreas and try to be a white person. You can't unless you mod the game. Like, the base game, you're an African American man, and I never had a problem with that. That's the main character of one of, in my opinion, like the greatest Grand Theft Auto game that's ever been made, and I loved it. I think it's amazing. It's hilarious. It's offensive. It's wonderful. I mean, the people writing these articles, Act-Man is right. They have very little knowledge of the video games that they're talking about, the culture that surrounds them, the people that are fans of it, like minorities and trans people who play the games, who enjoy these games. It goes into the whole thing of, like, people speaking for people. Just because I am a straight white guy doesn't mean I can speak on behalf of all the straight white guys out there, and I shouldn't try to, because we're all different. People are individuals. This groupthink mentality where we can all come together and help each other when we really need it, as communities, as families, as friends. A lot of white guys that are straight named Chad, I probably don't like. That stereotype is kind of there for a reason. I exhibit some very strong Chad traits, as I have my flat-billed cap and act the way that I do sometimes, but I also appreciate and respect trans people, people with gender fluidity, people of all different ethnic backgrounds, creeds, all of that stuff. I'm cool with a lot of people from many different fucking places, but I'm also not cool with many different fucking people from many different fucking places. And because I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains of southwestern Virginia, I have encountered many more white people than I have any other group of people. So I dislike a far larger amount of white people than probably anybody else, because that's all that I've been around for the most part. Though I do have many experiences in school and in the military, and my ventures outward from my what you could call the Shire. My area looks a lot like the Shire. I have been out into the world, and I have met some amazing people from all over the place, and it has enriched my life greatly to be exposed to so many different people. And not a single time have I, in all these unbelievable encounters with all of these people from all over the world, never once heard them bitch and complain that the world is fucked over because video games aren't open enough, inclusive enough, less violent, or in any way really damaging anything. Because video games are entertainment, they are fun, and that's just what they add up to. And people really need to chill out. But I think he was right about one thing. The clickbait article thing, that is a huge money maker. And I would argue that a large majority of this stuff is only out there to make you click on it and either piss you off or drive you in their favor into supporting what they're saying. The people who wrote these articles probably never even think about it again. They just wanted to meet a deadline and see how many clicks they could get. So, once again, great video by Actman. Go subscribe to his channel, like his videos, give him tons of respect because he does a pretty good job putting these things together, and I enjoy watching them. Thank you guys for recommending this video to me. It was insightful in a way that I kind of wish it wasn't, because I would rather not know that a lot of these opinions exist, and I avoid them on purpose. But thank you for recommending this video to me. Anyway, if you enjoyed my reaction to this video, you could give this video a like, you could subscribe to the channel, you could request videos you would like for me to react to in the comments section, or there is a link in the description of this video to the original Actman video and a Discord channel where reaction requests are, where you can talk to the community, where you can have voice chat, play games together. We have some fun in there. We also go live on this channel at random all the time and have a bunch of fun. In fact, I will be live tonight with my band playing a punk rock show in Johnson City, Tennessee, so tune in around 10 o'clock tonight to check that out. But for this video, I think that's going to do it, and I'll see y'all next time.